In 2013, when Dmitry Rybolovlev, a Russian oligarch, was in the midst of buying $2 billion worth of art, one of the many works he purchased was Tet, a sculpture by Modigliani, for $83 million. That, he says, was the price. Yves Bouvier, a man helping to handle the transaction, told him the seller would need to part with such a masterpiece.
But actually, there was no other seller. Bouvier himself owned the sculpture, which he had quietly bought only months before at half the price, according to court papers.
For years, Rybolovlev has accused Bouvier of defrauding him in that and dozens of other transactions by posing as an art advisor negotiating sales on Rybolovlev's behalf, when, in fact, he was secretly acting as an art dealer and often increasing the prices by tens of millions of dollars. Bouvier denies this.
Next week, the dispute, one of the art world's longest-running and fiercest, moves to a Manhattan courtroom where Rybolovlev is suing Sotheby's, the auction house involved in many of the sales. Rybolovlev's lawyers say in court papers that Sotheby's helped Bouvier cheat him, in part by creating inflated valuations for the art that served to conceal Bouvier's large markups.
Sotheby's has denied any wrongdoing, asserting it abided by industry best practices.
At trial, Marcus Asner, a lawyer for Sotheby's, said in a statement, "The plaintiff will have to prove that Sotheby's somehow knew that Bouvier was lying to Mr. Rybolovlev about what he, Bouvier, paid for the art when he bought it. But there's zero evidence that Sotheby's knew that Bouvier was lying."
Regardless of outcome, the trial is expected to provide a rare window into the inner, often secretive workings of the art trade, where even buyers seldom know from whom they are purchasing treasures worth a small fortune.
This case is the granddaddy of them all when it comes to what do we do in the art market in terms of conflicting loyalties and transparency, said Nicholas O'Donnell, an art market lawyer. It's the ultimate cautionary tale of people proceeding without people really having clear expectations of everybody's role.
Adding to the intrigue is the fact that one of the artworks involved is the Salvator Mundi, a depiction of Christ by Leonardo da Vinci that is the most expensive painting ever sold at auction.
Also rare is the prospect of an oligarch like Rybolovlev testifying and being cross-examined in a U.S. courtroom, according to Bill McCausland, a retired FBI official who specialized in matters pertaining to Russia, focusing in large part on oligarchs.
Bouvier, who is not a defendant in the case but whose name is likely to come up every day of the trial, once played a major role in the expansion of free ports as storage areas for art. Once one of the largest tenants at the Geneva Free Port, he also opened similar facilities in Luxembourg and Singapore, creating tax-free havens where masterpieces are stored.
Rybolovlev, whom the U.S. Treasury Department and several congressional reports have identified as an oligarch, made his fortune in potash fertilizer after the collapse of the Soviet Union. He has bought a Greek island, Monaco's soccer team and real estate around the world, including an oceanfront home in Florida formerly owned by Donald Trump.
Daniel J. Kornstein, a lawyer for Rybolovlev, said that the judge in the case, U.S. District Court Judge Jesse M. Furman, has precluded any reference to the term oligarch during the trial after we argued that Sotheby's did not dispute that this is a pejorative slur without legal definition or significance.